Hey guys, welcome to the Gods Unchained beta with the Professorf. Alright, it's time for our Monday Mythic meta for the ranked weekend event that ran on September 17th, 18th, and 19th. Let's take a look at our results. Alright, so here's a list of our top players. We have 2 players with 23 wins, several players with 22 wins, rounding out the top 9, and we have many more players with 21 wins, so there's a tie for 10th place. We'll have to wait and see for the official results to see who officially claims the 10th spot for those extra prizes. Let's go into more details. Our most popular god remains War, with 10 players in the top 20 playing War. Our next top god is Death, with 7 players in the top 20 playing Death, and then followed by Magic, with 3 players in the top 20 playing Magic. So we can see War is descending, with Magic and Death potentially taking spots in the meta. There were no players in the top 20 that played Light, Deception, and Nature. In our top 10, Death took first, fourth, and fifth. War took second, sixth, eighth, and 10th. And then Magic took third, seventh, and ninth. Our top decks with the most wins were War and Death with 23 wins each. Our best Magic deck had 22 wins. The best Nature and Deception decks managed 19 wins. And the best Light deck that I could find had 18 wins. Looking at our meta deck types, 9 players played Control, 7 players played Aggro, and we had 4 players that played a mid-range deck. Let's take a closer look at our top decks. Our top Death deck managed 23 wins. This one uses the new god power, Neferu's Sacrifice. You draw a card and take 2 damage to your health. We classified this deck as a mid-range deck. It's not quite full aggro, and it's not quite full control. The star of this deck is the Rock Drake Egg. Combined with the new god power Neferu's Sacrifice, where you draw a card, you are ensuring that you activate the Afterlife, where you hold 6 or more cards in hand, and as the egg is removed from the board, you are able to summon a 6/5 Rock Drake Dragon. In order to activate the egg, you have stalls and removals like Siren of the Grave, Ragnarok, Blight Bomb. You have lots of heal to offset the damage that you'll get from your god power and from your opponent. You have Return to the Cave, Fleshbind, Feast on the Dead. You have other cards that combo well with the deck, like Living Container to activate Afterlife effects, Possess Acolyte with a strong Afterlife, Hunger Daemon, another card that could trigger an Afterlife, and then you have Afterlife interactions like Canopic Hoarder and Sand Scorpion. You have Neferu for the board clear, and then you also have Deathwish Tanthar to take advantage of all the damage that you've taken. So overall, lots of synergies in this deck, and has many ways to win. Our best war deck is a control war deck using the Onslaught God Power. The new Onslaught God Power still gives Blitz to one of your creatures, but no longer gives a +1 attack. You have your usual early game for stabilization and board clearing, like Auric Rush, Master Tactician, Leviathan Hunter, the Enduring Shield, Tavern Brawler. You have your Twin Strike with Nokvi Pillager and Trojan Battle Mage, and you have some relics like Blade of Styx, as I mentioned, the Enduring Shield, and you can combo that with Carnage Sweep for a full removal. You have your deadly creatures with Harvest Arachne and Curse Capora, and then you have some heals with Auric Mage and Hector, and then you have endgame value with Strength and Numbers. Our best Magic deck managed 22 wins. With the new God Power Palace's Genius, this one adds a random 1 mana magic spell to your hand. This deck plays aggro, where you are using your creatures in combination with direct damage spells to bring down your opponent's health. You have several 1 mana cards at 14, Shadow Scryer, Flying Carpet with a 3/1 attack. You have Spell Boost with Street Conjurer. You have mana reduction cards for a big tempo turn with Assistant Alchemist. You have your buff cards like Shield Bearer, strong cards like Pyramid Warden, removals in Star Shard Bolt and Tracking Bolt. You have Palace to add value of extra spells being delved. And then you have direct damage from Worm Breath and possibly Rune Rider. The best Deception deck I've found finished with 19 wins using Orpheos Distraction. Orpheos Distraction is pretty much cheat, where you deal 1 damage to a creature and you give it hidden until the end of the next turn. This is a standard aggro hidden rush Deception deck. You have Orpheo, the Shadow of Lethanons, Dark Knives, Switch Duelists. You have buffs like Shield Bearer, other strong aggro cards like Drider's Hellweaver, Pyramid Warden, and then you have some control with Satyr Hypnotist, Hunting Trap, and Umber Arrow. This deck does have the Atlantean package with Shade Walker, Dwarf Atlant, Face Touch Golem, and Boost Walker. The best nature deck had 19 wins. This one's an aggro nature deck. This deck runs the Animal Bond God Power. The Animal Bond God Power has been updated. It no longer summons a 2/1 Eagle. It only summons a 1/2 Badger now. You have your usual strong nature cards like Chiron, Marshwalker, Underbrush Boar, Fey-Famed Blade, Canopy Barrage. You have Selena, Avatar of Nature, and Jaguar Staff. You complement those cards with Shield Bearer, Pyramid Warden, Reflection Elementalist, and Ironclad Minotaur. The best light deck I found finished with 18 wins. This one has the Summon Acolyte God Power. This one is the aggro light deck. You have your relics early on, Cudgel of Atonement and Ritual Rod. You have the Blind Martyr for the health buffs afterlife effect. You have strong 2-plays like Olympian Guard, Devoted Follower, Pyramid Warden. You have Bright Mage for some heals and ward. And then you have your usual strong light cards like Light's Levy, Highborn Knight, Master of Indulgences, and Canonize. And then you top off with Asterius at 6 mana. Alright, an update on our top placement scoreboard and money earned from last weekend. We can see that Mythic Dragons jumped up 4 spots, now in 9th place. 4 players moved down a spot to make way for Mythic Dragons. We have a couple new players that had a good weekend last weekend, taking a spot in the top 30. We have Martin and China Sky. Making way for these new players, we have several players moving down 1 rank each. Alright, so here's a list of our top players again. Very competitive weekend. Great job to everyone. Good luck on your packs when you receive them.